what would you say would be like your number one motivator to get past like times when you're feeling like discouraged, disappointed, or like when you're feeling like, because at the end of the day, like we are making the conscious decision to build something for ourselves and for our legacy, right? So like what's your number one motivator that gets you to get past all the nonsense and all like those things?
Honestly, it's my nieces and my younger siblings. They are the ones that I want to build a better life for. So a lot of the things I had to worry about, they don't need to. Mm-hmm. And so that they see things differently. You see your parents argue with somebody or whatever. It's like you never see that person ever again. Mm-hmm. And to me, that was always wrong. It's like if I argue with you, I'm not going to stop talking to somebody else because of it.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to instill in them and teach them regardless. And to show them like there's a different way. You don't have to go on the same path because the same path's been taken by everybody. But you're not getting anywhere. Even with school. Like, everybody goes to school, but not, you get a degree in what? So?
Yeah, you have to do something with it.
You just spent thousands of dollars getting a degree in what? What do you have to show for it? A piece of paper?
Well, of course, the education behind it,
Yeah, the education behind it, of course.
But no, but, like, there's so many people who, like, have the degree, but
they don't do anything with it. Yeah, I have my degree, and I'm not even in my field.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And it's
that's crazy.
180 switch. But honestly, those ones, they're my glue to everything. If I'm having a bad day, I just have to look at them.
Yeah.
I'm saying I'm doing this and building for you guys to have a better future. I'm gonna get emotional.
I have my shoulder here.
I'm trying not to. But yeah, no, they're the key. And a lot of people question like, oh, but they're not yours, but it's different.
No, it's just
they have
they're yours.
They have it.
They're yours.
They're mine.
They're yours.
That's all it is. They're mine.
Doesn't matter your sister, not they're your kids.
No, they're my kids. That's it. But it's really just to show them because they're growing up in a world that's so scary and it's changing and the dynamic. Like I remember being 12, 13, 14. I still had like braids in my hair, pigtails. I wasn't worrying about makeup. I wasn't worrying about boys or anything like that. Yeah. So their perspective on life, they have it harder. Way harder, 10 times harder with Instagram and social media. As much as it's helping, it's not at the same time because some of the images and what they're projecting out there is going to really put a lot of self-doubt into girls and boys. Mm-hmm. So my drive is to show them it's okay. Don't let outside people navigate your life. You're you. If you want to go down this path, that's on you, and I'm here.
You know what's interesting? It's interesting because this whole time we're talking about our careers and being business women and how we like motivate ourselves in business, but all we've been talking about is
our roots,
ourselves, and how we make sure that our minds are right. Yeah, sort of thing.
It is a mind game. It's tricky.
Yeah,
it's hard because sometimes you do have self-doubt on what you're doing. You really have to catch yourself and reel yourself in. Like any negative thought that pours through, any bad energy can knock you off. But there's a path, and I'm a firm believer in there's a path for us and it's set, and we can change along the way. And you have the opportunity to mold and do what you can with it. Mm-hmm. But there's a path set for you. Mm-hmm. So follow it, lead it, go with your gut, follow your instincts. That's number one.
Like the whole notion that like what your number one like motivator is and like your nieces and like your like to make sure that they're okay in that. And I feel like the way that I grew up, you wouldn't think this, but I'm a very bubbly and outgoing person. But growing up, I've never really had that friend group.
Yeah, but even with the family.
Yeah, it's like I always struggled with, like that, like my social life in that sense in school. I was always left out. I was bullied. I was like...
I feel like we lived the same life.
Yeah, but like, it's just for me, like I didn't understand why. Because like all I ever, and to this day, I still have the same philosophy. Like, all I want to do is show love to people. Yeah. So it's like, I'm showing you love, so like, why are people treating me like this? Yeah. But in the sense, it's like, they just don't understand my love.
They don't get it. Sometimes it's harder, it's easier said than done, but we have to take a step back and really think, what are they going through? Yeah. What's happening on their end that they feel the need to treat me like this? Mm-hmm. So that's all it is, really.
For me, like, everything I do, and like, even like the stuff that I do with social media and like, the awareness that I bring about, like, deaf awareness and with my brother and everything, there's a bigger picture. And, like, I always said that my main goal is to literally be a catalyst. Mm-hmm. I want to be a catalyst where every person that is in my vicinity, is in my environment, who's talking to me indirectly, and even indirectly I've had, like, I want people to feel my love and to take that energy with them. Like, something so simple. I went to Mexico in December, and that was the first time I went on vacation after like 2 years. And I remember I was talking with my sister, and like she said some joke or whatever, and honestly I was dying of laughter. I was go get some water. This guy was talking to me. He goes, honestly, I don't know what you were laughing about, but just hearing you laugh like made my day. Like it brought me energy. It brought me happiness. So it's like, that's my goal. That's what keeps me going. The knowing the fact that like this is not about me.
No,
it's like
picture.
What I do is not about, like, I have people like telling me and commenting and saying to me like, you don't understand like what this video, what this message has done. So it's like, it's not even about me at this point. People ask me a lot of questions about, like, especially with my brother, like growing up with him and with my sister, and like it was tough, but it's like people ask me like, how do you deal with the judgment?
Yeah.
How do you deal with the ignorance? I don't look at it as a negativity.
Yeah.
I look at it as an opportunity for me to educate you.
Yeah.
Even like through social media, like with my other clients, like yeah, that's my message, but every one of my clients and every business I work with has their own message.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel like I have more entitlement and more ownership, because I know what it means to have a business, to start a business, to see a business grow, to see a business fail. Like, I know what the impact it can make on somebody. My motivation is not even myself. It's not even my family. It's literally, it sounds so corny to say, but
it's
like I literally,
people.
Yeah, it's like I really want to create this empire of love. That's literally what I want.
But that's not a bad thing. You're spreading positive vibes, and it just exudes off you. And that's why people are so attracted to you, right?
I always say, like, positive energy just travels faster.
It does.
That's what I say.
But with that comes a lot of negativity.
Of course.
Right? So you're always going to get those people who are going to say but and if and comment, and it's just really how you choose to brush it off.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if anybody knows Gary Vee, but Gary Vee, he's a killer for it.
Yeah.
He's just like, fuck it. That's what it is. Cool, you have your opinion, I'll listen, but doesn't mean it has to be mine now.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
And a lot of, and he doesn't get always positive comments, right? So you really just have to be strong mentally and work on that and let a lot of things go.
Like I said before, it's so interesting because all we're talking about is self-awareness and to build yourself as a person. Because if you think about it, no matter what business or what industry you're going to, and this is something that Sanju told me, and honestly, I will like take this to my grave. Like I will never forget this. Like, he told me, he's like, you need to build your island to a point that no matter what what
shapes
comes up ashore will not affect you.
Yeah.
Maybe it can, change the sand a little, it can change the shape a little bit, but your core is there.
Your balance.
Yeah, so like that's something that like literally he told me that, and like it changed my life. Funny enough, the first meeting I went with Sanju, he told me, he goes, if I don't vibe with you in the first 5 minutes,
we're done.
It's these things that you take, because like for me, like, that's not even like another reason why I work here.
Yeah.
It's not even just about the fact that like I have clients, I have business, we help, businesses grow and everything, but it's like, it's the mental part about it.
Yeah, because if they're not in the back end and you're not receiving it from them, then what's to say they're going to put in the work?
Yeah, yeah.
In order for something to grow in a relationship, to blossom and form, and you to be from here to up here, it takes work. You're not going to just slide on through.
It's crazy.
Different.
Yeah, it's different. Because like my parents, like when the way they grew up, they always taught me to think of others.
Yes.
Everything, and my parents would always say that to me, like, no matter what you do, you need to realize the consequences and how that's going to affect other people.
Yeah.
But it's like, there was a gap there.
Yeah.
Because I was taught to think of other people.
You lost yourself. Exactly.
Yeah. Bam, bam.
Yeah. It was kind of the same thing on my end too. Like, I think your house, you grew up a little bit more with loving. And my house, I don't remember my parents ever telling me they loved me. Not once. It was more of it was a tough love.
Yeah.
So I got beat. I got beatings. That's how they showed me.
Both lived in Spanish households.
Yeah.
Like,
it was anything. It was a broom. It was a chancleta. It was
the belt.
The belt. It was just the stare, and you knew you're like, I'm gonna get it when I get home. Like, no, right? It was everything. So to say that their way of showing how they cared was wrong.
It's just different.
It's just different. And I might not be who I am because of it. Right? So it's the same thing. And really, though, it took a lot of work of loving myself and bringing that part out of me. Because for so long I was, let's do it, I'm tough. No emotion, emotionless, like
that
just
rock. Like you had to be.
That I had to be.
Meanwhile, you're literally a Mars bar inside.
I mean, we don't need to see all that. More to love.
Yeah, there you go. I think my takeaway would be, no matter what you're doing in your life, if like to have that motivation behind you, like you're gonna have times where you're not gonna feel like you want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
You're gonna have times where you feel like what you're doing is wrong and it doesn't make sense. But I always say that there's beauty in the destruction. There's beauty in the dismantling of things, because
you learn.
It's like, yeah,
it's not a loss. That's what everybody thinks. Like, oh, I failed, I didn't get it. No, you learned. You got something out of it. You have to trick your mind into thinking the opposite. Because if you're always like, oh, I didn't do it, I couldn't, those negative thoughts start to pour into you.
It's like you have to you have to
flip a switch.
You literally have to convince yourself almost. Like, that's why like sometimes like when I'm having those times of self-doubt, I'll take my book and I'll show you. I'll take my book and I'll write down all these affirmations where I say, like, you'll literally see, like, I literally have affirmations. I wrote this today. I am where I need to be, because I had that moment where I'm like, I need to do more. I'm not doing enough.
Yeah.
And like I have those moments so much, because it's like it's hard. Like, we're talking about balance between business, personal life, what you want to do. Like,
it's a lot to juggle.
Yeah, and funny enough, Gary, like, he posted a video. I think it was a couple weeks ago, and it was this these 20-year-olds, like young, like in their 20s, probably around our age.
Yeah.
They started like their own business or whatever, and they were talking about balance, and they were talking about the fact that it was hard because they wanted to spend time with their family or with their girlfriends or whatever. And Gary literally said, like listen, if you want to like do that, perfectly fine. Like, you have balance. You want to spend time with your girlfriend. You want to go to the movies. You want to do this. Do it. But realize that you doing this will just make your process a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
And I think that's something that like I said, I need to convince myself and say, like I'll say to myself, like, I don't need to be working 24/7. I need to have that space where I'm just doing mindless things, because you need to have that break.
That downtime.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
I think that's something we're both working on.
Yeah,
right now.
I'm still struggling now, guys.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a process.
Yeah.
Because it's every day. It's like, oh, I didn't do this, and this. We were talking about this yesterday when we went to the gym.
Yeah.
Like, we had so much to do and we didn't do it, but we took that time for ourselves, even though we were still thinking.
Yeah, even though we were still thinking that when we get home, we have to, do laundry,
clean.
call this person, email this person, do this, do that.
Still had a laundry list, but at least we took that time for ourselves.
Yeah.
And it's getting better, slowly.
I don't want to say I'm starting to get into the routine thing, because that's not it.
Yeah.
It's not the routine. It's more about prioritizing myself more.
First.
Yeah.
Because you can't do all these things if you're not okay.
Exactly. So it's like, how am I supposed to, come into work the next day, bright and early, ready to work?
All bubbly Nat.
Yeah, literally. It's like all, like, and like, I'll get people who, like, will tell me, like, Nat, like, are you, like when you're on Instagram, like, you're always happy, so, like, you're always smiling. It's like, yeah, like, that's how it, like, how I am there, like, that's how I am in real life. Like, that's what, like, I'll always have a smile on my face. Like, I'll have my times where, like, I'm angry and frustrated, of course, but it's like, that's when you have to get those affirmations again and say, like, you know what? It's kind of a strategy that I do when I'm frustrated like that. I'll take a book, I'll take my phone, whatever I have. I'll write down all my complaints. Yeah. Literally all my frustrations. I'll just rant and rant and rant.
Pages.
And rant, pages. At the end of it, I'll say, but I will not stop, because I am great.
Of course.
I will be great. So
it's not a lie.
So I cannot stop. But, like, that's what I say. It's like, no matter what your frustrations are, it's like, in my head, I think, if I stop, I'm doing myself a disservice.
Yeah.
I'm stopping that ball that's rolling. So it's like, in my head, I'm thinking, it's like, when I'm reaching that point of tension, of being uncomfortable, that's how I know that's where I need to be.
Yeah.
Because after the tension, after the uncomfortable
comes greatness.
Yeah.
You just soar from there. I think that's one thing in social media that people don't realize is there's a backstory to everything, right? So, like, no, not everybody's like all smiles and everything's good every single day. Mm-hmm. Everyone has their days. Like, trust me, sometimes I walk into a room, I'm like, I'm livid, I'm done.
Yeah.
I need time.
Yeah.
And then people who know me well, give her a day. she'll be okay.
Yeah.
And the next day, I'm back to me.
That's it, yeah.
Back to getting, back to going, back to grinding.
Yeah.
Right?
So I think the number one takeaway out of this whole conversation is the fact that no matter what you do, as long as you make sure that you are happy with yourself and what you're doing, and you're not letting those other opinions around you affect that. Like, the thing is, like, we have to keep our integrity.
Yeah.
We have to keep ourselves, because, like, we have to respect ourselves.
100%.
So, yeah. This is a great talk. Wow.
We got it on lock.
More to come. More to come.